Okay, so this is much more difficult than I thought it was going to be, I have to say. Hey everyone, my name is Brandon Acker and I'm here with expert luthier Marshall Brune. We're here in his beautiful shop, and today the plan is to test out guitars and find out if we can tell which one is more expensive, but blindfolded.
Right. Yeah, because last time you were here, we did the $200,000, $2,000, $20,000, $200,000 video. We were both looking at the comments and talking about this, saying, hey, you know what? I think that for once the comment section is right.
We listened to you guys.
It was always the thought that we have the supposition that they know what the price is, so they're going to say it's a better guitar.
Exactly. So we decided to take that bias away. And in this video, I have a handy dandy blindfold here, which I'm going to be wearing in part 1. So this video will be in 3 parts. Part 1, I'm going to wear a blindfold, try out 2 guitars at a time, mystery guitars that Marshall has prepared. I don't know what they are yet. And I'm going to see if, based on feel, listening, if I can determine which one is more expensive. Part 2, Marshall is going to wear the blindfold, and we're going to see if a expert luthier can hear the difference between the 2 instruments. In part 3, you're going to do the test. We're going to hear 2 guitars, A and B, and without seeing them, let's see if you can pick which one is the more expensive guitar. Let's dive in. Pretty good, right?
Yeah, as far as I can see.
Although I can't see without my glasses, so I should probably...
Yeah, there we go.
Probably put these on. It's almost like this mask wasn't designed to have glasses on it. It's super strange.
That's weird.
Yeah, right?
But it looks good.
Good. I feel good.
All right, you ready for the first guitar?
I'm ready.
All right.
I'm going to see 2 guitars, right? And then I'm going to play each, and I'm going to try to figure out which one is more expensive.
Yep.
All right?
Got it.
All right. I think I got it. So, I have a mystery guitar. I like the sound. Super resonant, warm, very round. Whoa. I love the tone color. Let me give it a feel here. So I feel like I'm feeling guitars for the first time. This is crazy. No golpeador, no plug, anything like that. The action's good. It seems a bit more high tension than I usually like, but I mean, it seems like a nice guitar. I would say this feels like it could be like a good concert instrument from what I can tell. I'm really impressed by the response of the strings. I had like a super fast response and a super warm, round sound when I play. Really beautiful. Let me try a little Chopin because it sounds like this would be beautiful on this guitar. If I get this next part, I'll be so surprised. Oh my god, I got it! Oof, tuning. I'm really impressed by the instrument. Okay, I think I've taken a lot of information from this guitar. Can I try another one?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's get the next one. You ready?
I'm ready. So this is number 2. All right, I don't feel any golpeador. I feel a normal bridge. Less sound. It seems like instantly not as good of a guitar. The resonance is much less. Also, is it smaller maybe? It feels like almost it has like a smaller scale than the previous one, and then the resonance is not as boomy. There's no life to the sound when I play in comparison to that one. Let me see if I'll try the same piece. easier to play because I think it has a smaller scale. Oh! I should pick pieces without so many crazy shifts.
I don't know, you seem to be doing all right.
Well, for the most part. Let's try that. Let's try that Chopin. Whoa. Yikes. Nice tone, actually. The more I play this one, the more I like the sound. But I think if I play that one again, I have the same impression. This one feels quiet, super mellow. I would think that guitar number 1 is the more expensive guitar.
And you are actually correct.
Yes.
You compared a Daniel Friedrich concert model to a Hill 7/8 or a New World 7/8 Players series, I think.
Well, the fact that it was smaller was so evident right away, and playing all these shapes were so easy and subtly. And then, of course, I lost this volume, and I lost this feeling that I was playing something really well made. The sound is just like like a piano almost.
As far as Friedrichs go, this is really, really spectacular.
Yeah, can I play that one again?
Absolutely.
Now that I know what it is.
I believe that guitar is as old as us.
Wow.
So how's it feel to see?
You know, it's just totally amazing when I can see as well. I'm taking in all this extra sensory data. It adds to the sound. I can't divorce it from the sound. But when you're blind, you're just totally studying it. And I'm thinking about the timbre in a way that is certainly more nuanced, I think, than I am doing right now. I can't believe I've actually never tried this. The clarity of the top strings. And the scale feels now huge. Wow. This thing is powerful.
It is. It's a lot of guitar.
Yeah.
These are probably close to my favorite guitars out there just because it's like this freight train of sound and there's just layers and depth and no matter how much you lean into it, there's always something else to give and it's just deeper and bigger and more.
Yeah, it's true. I feel like it's doing a lot of the work for me. Any good instrument should just be invisible in the sense that it lets you, it's a medium through which you can just express and not in an inhibited way. But the best instruments do that, and then they give you a little help.
And a guitar like this is actually a really nice place to be if you're starting out and you don't have a ton of budget to be at, just because it's a lot more than, well, actually most stuff at this price range.
So what are the prices?
So this one is about $50,000.
Sorry, Marshall, out of my price range.
Well,
I was going to buy it, but then...
This one, about $900.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have two things about that instrument. One, I just talked to a lot of students who are interested in something potentially smaller. I'm a huge fan of smaller guitars, so I like 19th century guitars.
Yep.
And so it's more comfortable. You don't need to put out a lot of sound. People think you need to make this massive amount of sound. You don't need to. If you like that, it's okay, but it's taste. And it plays well. So this could be a great place to be if you were a beginner, intermediate classical guitarist.
Absolutely. I know a lot of professional guitarists who play on something like this as their secondary gig guitar. So if they're out playing an outdoor wedding or something like that, they play on one of these instead of bringing out their really nice guitars just because they don't want to have to worry about it. Yet these are good enough. I mean, I'm not going to call them great, but at this price point, they are good enough to be a professional quality guitar in that setting.
But I'm glad to say that even blindfolded and knowing nothing about these guitars, a $50,000 guitar and about a $1,000 guitar, it's night and day. I mean, there was no contest. This was a different beast, you know, a completely different tool doing different things. The size is noticeable. The sound was obvious, the lacking of resonance and volume. Okay, I got one right. Let's keep going.
Yep. All right, here's the first one.
Now then, let's see if I can not break one of your guitars. Do a bit of tuning here.
So what is your initial impression before you've even played it?
So while I'm tuning, I'm already, hearing things, and I'm already paying attention here. The first thing I felt is the shape of it. Very thin neck, wide fretboard, very kind of thin, wide body. I have the sense already that this is not your average Spanish classical guitar somehow. Let me try a little song. This is the famous Recuerdos de la Alhambra. So
I just want to point out that he literally cannot see anything. And he plays better than, I'd say, half of the people that come into my shop blindfolded, and they can see.
Thanks much. It's really hard for me to judge the level yet. I think I need to hear the second guitar.
Okay.
And then maybe I can tell you more about this one.
Yeah, let's bring in that second guitar.
Oh, I just noticed, before you give me that second guitar, I just noticed this one has a golpeador.
It does have a golpeador.
So, okay, there's a golpeador, and then it's kind of buzzy. Is this a flamenco guitar?
It could be.
Okay, because usually they have lower actions, and the buzz is kind of a good thing, right, for flamenco. And then you have a golpeador, kind of a tapping plate.
You sure hope that you got onto that tapping plate.
Yeah, is this it? Or am I just putting holes in your instrument? Yeah. Okay, that's very interesting. Okay, can I hold this out and you grab it?
And here is guitar number 2.
Perfect. Well, that guitar is in tune, and this guitar is a little out of tune. This feels completely different. The touch is different. The neck is thicker. The whole instrument feels like it has a slightly different shape to it. Different tone color. Let's try Recuerdos again to get the same feeling. Problems, or I did a really bad job tuning, whichever one you want. Man, I feel that the guitar is hard to play, and I keep tuning it, and I seem to not be able to get it all the way in tune. The fact that the guitar is fighting me a little bit, I feel like it's harder to play. Maybe it's just the strings are a bit stiffer. I'm not sure, but I have the feeling that this one is not as good quality as the previous one. Although this one doesn't have a golpeador. This one might just be a normal classical guitar. Can I hear the first one again?
Absolutely. Man,
the blindfolded handoff. It's intimidating.
Scariest thing done in the shop this week.
Yeah. Okay, let's try this again. This one is so much easier to play. So, as we talked about in the last video, playability is my very first thing that I look for, because if you can't play with ease, then what are we doing? It's very challenging. So this one is much easier to play, and I have the feeling that it has, especially up here, it has better intonation. Okay, so this is much more difficult than I thought it was going to be, I have to say. If I have to choose, so this is number 1, and that was number 2.
That's correct.
I would say, based on playability, that this one is the more expensive guitar. Am I right?
Nope.
I'm wrong. No.
That is a $300 Yamaha. But I have set this thing up to within an inch of its life, and this is a working man's guitar, so it has been played in like nobody's business.
Okay, because I was going to say that I like the sound of that one more, and it has more resonance. but it's so hard to play that it ruined the experience.
Right. So this guitar, the other guitar, which is an Ignacio Rosas,
Okay.
made in Spain, it's unset up the way that this, I'm pointing to the Yamaha for our visually impaired friends here.
At least I'm wearing my glasses.
Right, that's true. This one is set up the way that Ignacio Rosas set it up. So
Really?
the nut is unchanged, the saddle is unchanged, and this guitar was owned by a collector who played it occasionally, not somebody who played it every day.
Let me see these cool instruments.
So this is the Ignacio Rosas. It's an absolutely gorgeous model.
Totally beautiful looking.
Top of the line. It's his top of the line guitar, and it does have a really nice richness of tone. But yes, I agree. It's a bit more difficult to play, but that's because this thing is set up that way.
Gotcha.
This Yamaha, on the other hand, $300. I think these things are $400 new.
Look at that. Well, okay, this is a testament to how important playability is. You give me a really expensive guitar that's fighting me because of the action, and I mean, okay, and action comes down to a bit of taste, right?
Yeah.
Not every person has the exact same feeling, but for me, the action was so high that I couldn't do what I needed to do. So if I had to give a concert, I would prefer this one. Of course, I think that sound is objectively nicer. It's more resonant. It's a better made instrument. Looks more beautiful now that I can see. But man, playability goes a long way.
I know, it really does.
Okay, well, this is already going much differently than I expected. Should we try another one?
Absolutely.
Today's video is brought to you by Classical Guitar Pro. That's my brand new online classical guitar course, which is 6 hours, 53 videos. It's a whole curriculum designed to teach you what you would normally learn in the first 6 months to a year of classical guitar lessons. So if you want to learn classical guitar but are stuck, struggling reading music or struggling to learn the techniques, check out classicalguitar-pro.com to learn more. Maybe I should play Blindfolded more often, Marshall. I feel like my other senses are heightened here.
Yeah, I mean, how's the smell?
Oh yeah, that's the other thing I was going to mention. Sometimes guitars have an amazing smell. I wonder if that factors in. I'm going to smell this next pair and we'll see if it helps me.
Round 3.
What? I can fit the entire guitar in my hand, so this is I feel a pickup. Something's off. What? Okay, so definitely it could be plugged in. Yeah, this is some type of acoustic electric maybe, or just electric, I can't tell. I certainly wouldn't play this thing acoustically.
I wouldn't either. I don't recommend it.
It could be one of those acoustic electric things, but because it has actually more sound than like an electric guitar, so probably is, but doesn't sound great. Oofta. Okay, let's. This is the Shock and Farewell. It was used in the soundtrack to a Ken Burns documentary on the Civil War. It's super beautiful. The neck is super wide. It's a cutaway. Okay, there's all of a sudden I can play super high. Normally when I go to the 14th fret, I'm like, oh, tons of wood and then nothing. And then... Okay, I'm holding some type of acoustic electric something with a cutaway. These usually aren't super expensive. The best ones I've seen are like $1,500, and they can be as little as like $500. So I imagine this is somewhere between that price range, $5,000 and $1,000 maybe. Should we try number 2?
Yeah, let's try number 2. Here,
Are my glasses on straight?
No, but
No. Okay.
It adds to the ambiance.
At least it's funny.
Yeah, that's better.
Oh, there we go. Now I can see.
Yeah, now you can see.
Can't see anymore. They should really make glasses for people who wear blindfolds. Come on, man. Oh. Okay, well, pegs are on the wrong side. This is one of those headstocks. It's almost like what do you call it, like a Fender guitar or something. Do we have a 19th century guitar? This headstock, these tiny little tuners, these little metal tuners remind me of a Stauffer guitar. Stauffer made these great Viennese style guitars in the early 19th century, and I love them. And they have all the pegs on one side, just like that. And so maybe this is something in that style.
Yeah, in that style.
In that style. I said I played these guitars. I didn't say anything about tuning them well with the blindfold. I think I'm holding a 19th century guitar, and it feels glorious after that funny acoustic electric or whatever that was. Let's try the same Civil War tune. No. There we go. So also more frets available. It felt like. That is a gorgeous, gorgeous guitar. So if I guess it right, I get to keep it, right? That was what we agreed on?
Yeah, with money, of course.
Oh, darn.
You know,
I think this one is cake. This is the more expensive one. This is some type of 19th century style. It has even got the floating neck, I feel. And usually there's a key. There's a keyhole here that you can turn and then change the action. It's got a raised fingerboard, the Starford style headstock. This is a 19th century guitar. The other one's acoustic electric. This costs way more.
Absolutely.
Like $8,000?
10.
10, okay.
Yeah, that is a 1860s Scherzer.
Okay.
Going up against a handmade, made in Canada, Godin.
Oh, a Godin. Okay.
MIDI guitar.
So those are one of the better of the acoustic electric.
Oh yeah. I think this thing is like $1,800
I
new.
wasn't too far off. $1,500 being the top. Well, look at that. This is a good round.
Yeah, you're not doing too bad.
Hey. All right.
You know, you play so well like this, I actually forget that you are blindfolded. Here is a guitar.
Oh, thanks for the guitar. Nice first string. I like the sound. These aren't pre-tuned at the factory, Marshall? What's going on?
Look, I guarantee everything except the tuning.
This is a fantastic guitar. I love the sound of the first string. It's super. It's like a bell. It's like that Friedrich guitar. It has that same type of bells round sound. Very warm, very loud, resonant. But it doesn't strike me as like bam. It's more of like a blossom. Wow.
Yeah, there's a lot of room for that sound to evolve and grow.
Yeah. That is a super nice guitar. I love it.
That's absolutely gorgeous.
I love the thinness of the neck. The size of it is perfect. The action is perfect. The tone is super sweet. It's a super rewarding sound. I love it. This is definitely certainly in the thousands. This one could be maybe like an $8,000 guitar. Don't tell me yet, but that's how it feels to me. It feels that the quality is that good. It's got a lot of the things I look for in an instrument.
Okay, good.
So should we try the next one?
Well, let's try the next one, yeah.
Oh, this guitar is hairy. Can't put a price on Marshall though.
My insurance agent begs to differ.
Okay, guitar number 2. Whoa. We have something funny happening here. We have some type of sound port. Sound
don't put
hole.
too many fingers in the hole.
Is there something going to bite my fingers on the inside? It feels bigger. Different timbre. This feels like a completely different animal than the last one. Good or bad, I can't tell yet. Let's try that same Chopin and let's see what happens. can't get my bearings on this instrument. Something's strange about the.
Okay, I'll give you a
dimensions.
little hint on this one. It's not 12 frets to the body, it's 14 frets to the body.
I feel that there's 14, and then the scoop makes it even. It makes it feel like almost a cutaway because I'm used to going until I hit the wood.
Right.
And so yes, that's clear.
Yep.
But here.
Yeah, you're past it a little bit.
So it's here.
Yeah. So what are you picking up on the sound of this one?
Something's different about the sound. It's not the same type of resonance.
What if I told you to move your hand up towards the sound hole a little bit? So now you're over the fingerboard, clearly.
Yeah.
And then go back towards the bridge to establish where you are.
Let me try this piece and see if I can get used to it more. There's some interesting things about this one that I can't quite put my finger on, but the previous one, in terms of what I know about classical guitars, feels like the more valuable instrument. It's at least, I can say it's one that I would prefer to play myself.
All right, let's take a look. So that is one of my hybrid guitars.
Aha!
This one was requested to be built with 14 frets to the body, and with that bite away. So this was a customer request, and I don't have many of my guitars around, if ever.
You know what's so strange is this is not, now that I can see it, it's mostly the same.
Right.
But it feels big because of the 14 frets to the body.
Right.
And then this sloping thing and the proportions
which
are
is
different.
What was, I think, throwing you off in terms of the
so much.
sound, because your hand was essentially closer to the bridge. You were more Ponticello than you expected to be.
And it did get very beautiful as I went this way.
Yeah.
I think what I'm realizing is like the physicality of it, like the feeling that was unusual for me was contributing to the sound in a negative way for me.
Right.
Because I was saying something's different. I'm not controlling this as well as controlling one that I was, the standard proportions.
Right. Absolutely. And by the way, you were comparing to one of my father's 25th anniversary models, which there were 25 of these things built. This one is, I believe, number 25 of 25. So he kind of had his hand in at this point in time.
Look at that.
And this one was built with the most ultra premium woods.
Wow.
It's got some of the nicest spruce I've ever seen for the tops. It's got some of the most gorgeous Brazilian rosewood for the sides and the back. It's got the 999 sterling silver Rogers tuning machines, and it's got this gorgeous carved head that it was hand carved and the label was hand scribed. So, this was the ultra premium, ultra luxury. Only 25 of these were made.
So I guess that one's more expensive.
Yes, absolutely.
So at least I got that one.
Oh yeah, and rightfully so. I think this is one of the most magnificent guitars that we've heard today.
It is spectacular. Can I play that one again?
Yeah,
and then
absolutely.
Let's go back. What I'd like to do now is go back and forth again, now knowing what they are and feeling them again. That first string is really spectacular.
Oh yeah. There's a lot going on there.
Wow. It's like crystal clear. That's what I think I love about it. The clarity of the clarity of the sound, the clarity of all the harmony on the inside. It's a totally gorgeous sound. Now that I know what's going on here, let me hear this one again.
Yeah.
Okay. Now that I'm actually seeing it, now that I actually control for the timbre in a better way, I get it. Also, much darker sound.
Yes.
Much more rich. The sound port adds a new dimension to it. And of course, the playability is completely different because I can go go way up, and of course things like much easier without all this wood in the way. It's a totally beautiful instrument. Both of these are fantastic guitars. So congrats to the Brune family.
Well, thank you.
What? What is this? What do we got? Oh, is this an auto harp? It's some type of lap harp. Is there other buttons on it? Sometimes there are like auto harp buttons. Oh, this is not an auto harp. It's like an actual lap harp. Okay, so we have some type of lap harp, which has not been tuned.
No. Who's got that time?
No one, that's for sure. I can't say I've ever walked up to any of these and then they actually aren't.
No, I mean, most of them are decorations. And this one is probably the nicest decoration piece you can have.
I'll believe it when I can see it.
Shall we compare to...
A nice auto harp? Okay, I look forward to seeing this one, but let's go to the next one.
All right, next one. So that was actually a zither.
Ah, right, yeah.
Which was used as training for a lot of German boys in lieu of getting piano lessons. So if you could show proficiency and aptitude on the zither, then you were granted the ability to take piano. And how that instrument translates into a piano, I have no idea, but it makes sense to the Germans. So here is something.
Number 2. Oh, whoa. Okay. Lots and lots of strings. We have a body which is guitar-like. What's going to happen over here? So do we have like a... Okay, we have a beautiful open tuning. So it's kind of like another harp, but we can fret it. Yeah, it almost feels like a theorbo for a minute, because on a theorbo you have the short neck where you play and then you have a scale. So actually it feels like almost like a Baroque lute. Well. It feels like a mini theorbo or like a Baroque lute. What is this thing? I have no idea what this is. Can I fret these?
Yeah.
What? I don't know what this is. I can't say I've ever played anything like this before.
But it's fun, isn't it?
It is very fun.
It's tuned FDA, and then diatonic going down.
Yeah, which is the same as a Baroque lute.
Yeah.
It's like a little Baroque lute. Hold on, let me think here. And then I can go major. Oh, it feels like a Baroque lute. It's exactly the same tuning as a Baroque lute. What am I playing?
This is a 10-string guitar that one of my clients wanted to play like a Baroque lute, but he didn't want to buy a Baroque lute.
There we go.
So with all the guitars in the shop, I actually find myself grabbing this one a little bit more than the rest, just because it's so different and so much fun.
Well, but you could play the music. Here it is. Tambo de Messango. I forget how it goes.
I love the fact that you are actually looking up.
Where is it? The last thing I expected was to have a Baroque lute tuning, but I kept doing little things. I'm like, wait a minute, that's exactly how a Baroque lute feels. I have to see this thing.
It's a Matsuoka. That's a 10-string Japanese-made guitar. And I believe that there was only about 4 or 5 of these 10-string Matsuokas actually made. So This is actually a very rare guitar.
The open D minor tuning of the Baroque lute is so nice to just immediately feel like you're in this beautiful key with this great low bass notes. The funny thing about it for me is that you have frets going all the way across because you never use them.
Right.
You only use the top ones.
One could argue that this is actually more functional than a lute or a theorbo. And first of all, when you put this onto the table, it's not going to roll off.
That would help you. I have broke one instrument that way.
I know.
Yes, you do. So, which one is more expensive? I guess I should have guessed when I had my blindfold done, but...
Yeah, this one by far. Well, actually, that's a real coin toss.
Really? Why is that?
Because the zither was actually made by Hermann Hauser.
No way.
The first.
Okay, so see, this is the problem with the blindfolded thing. You add in like the historical value of famous luthier,
right.
And suddenly that's not something you could perceive without knowing it.
Right. Well, conditionally speaking, that thing more or less belongs in an antique shop, and it's a 100%. Curiosity. You know, if you've got your Viennese style Hauser, if you've got your Yobe style Hauser, but you don't have a Hauser zither.
Well, Okay, I would say this has been a pretty interesting test. I've learned a couple things about myself, listening. I think I'm gonna try to listen without looking at things more often. It's a kind of a revealing exercise, actually.
It is. It's amazing how much your eyes influence the sound. The notion that the flamenco guitar is such an incredibly brilliant and brash instrument. You actually said that my flamenco guitar sounded quite nice.
Yeah.
And which is a surprise because it's just a $300 instrument. It's a perfectly average guitar, but it's undergone a lot of work to get it to play that way.
One of my main takeaways here is certainly a reinforcement of the idea that playability is king. There's kind of like separate, fields. There's like historical value, and there's something to say about, that's a meaningful object because of its historicity. And then there's sound, pure sound, and then there's playability. And for me, still playability first. What do I actually want to play? And then sound. And then if there's historical value, fantastic. That's really, really cool. But I can't believe I actually chose the cheap guitar over the the expensive one in this case. But it just reinforces the point. If you can't play something easily and well, then what are we doing?
Right, exactly. And music is hard enough. You shouldn't have to fight the instrument to be able to play the music.
Yeah.
And I've directed many a person to a lesser expensive guitar because it fit their hand better. They may have wanted to spend more, but if you've got even an okay guitar that plays really, really well, just play it and enjoy it. I'd rather you play on a cheap guitar or an inexpensive guitar that feels good than something that's expensive that doesn't.
Totally agree. Thus concludes part one. I think it's time to turn the tables. I want to see if Marshall Brune here can listen to two different instruments and pick out the more expensive one. I failed one. Let's turn the tables.
Sounds good.